In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you guys how to import photos directly from your camera into Lightroom. We'll also be creating a preset of all the little adjustments you need to do to a raw file before you can start doing your more creative edits. Let's get started. Once you've opened up Lightroom, you'll want to click the Import button on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. This opens up the Import module. On the left-hand side, you'll see different hard drive locations on your computer. The top is my computer's hard drive, and below it is a memory card that I have plugged into my computer. Since I'm going to be importing images off of my memory card, I have minimized my computer's hard drive. Click on the arrow to expand your memory card. Then click on the first folder. Depending on the brand of your camera, you may see several different folders inside of your memory card. If your images are in a folder that is inside of another folder, you may see a dialog box in the middle of your screen that says Include Subfolders. Just click that and you'll expand all of the folders to show your images. Once we've located the images we would like to import, we're going to decide what we're going to do with those files. At the top of our module, you'll see several different options. We want to copy these images from our memory card. This will leave copies of our images on the memory card and create new copies on our hard drive. If we select Move, it will remove the images from our memory card, and we don't want to do that until we're ready for our next shoot. If we select Add, we will be working off of the files from the memory card without using them on our hard drive. Now we need to select where we would like to copy our files to. On the top right corner of our module, we're going to click on our hard drive. Then we're going to go down to Other Destination. The default folder for Lightroom is to put all of your images in the Pictures folder. Since we want to keep all of our different projects organized into one folder, we're going to select the Projects folder that we have already created in our previous video. If the images you are importing are for a project for our class, you're going to select the quarter that you are in, our class name, and the assignment you are working on. Since the images I'm using for this tutorial are for a personal project, I'm going to create a new folder inside of my Projects folder. I'm going to follow the same date and title name sequence that we've talked about in the previous tutorial. The date I will be using is the date these images were shot. I'll then use an underscore to separate the date from the title of the project. Once I've created my title project folder, I need to create a folder inside of it to house all of my camera raw files. Just like in the previous tutorial, you're going to create a folder called CR. This is the folder in which we will be copying all of our images from our camera onto our hard drive. On the right-hand side of our module, you're going to see several different tabs. The first tab we're going to address is File Handling. The only thing that needs to be checked here is don't import suspected duplicates. This will keep you from importing images that you've already imported into Lightroom. The next tab is File Renaming. This is an optional part of the importing process. I personally do not like to rename my files upon import because it makes the import process go more quickly. The next section is Apply during import. Once we've created a preset for processing our raw files, you'll want to select this preset for the develop settings. Since we have not created this preset yet, we're going to leave it set to none. We also have not created metadata, so we're going to leave that as none as well. The next section is Destination. This is where we're going to verify that we are putting our images exactly where we want them. We want to make sure that this is left unchecked. We do not want Lightroom to create subfolders for us. We have already manually created those folders when we were choosing our location. The images should be organized into one folder. This is the default setting. Down here, you'll be able to see exactly where your images will end up. I can verify here that my images are going exactly in the folder that I created for this assignment. One last thing to check before you import is that your images are sorted by the capture time. This is down here at the bottom of the panel. Now we're going to select Import. Once our images have finished importing, you'll be able to see them in the Library panel. The images are arranged by capture time. You can adjust the size of the thumbnails down here with this little slider on the bottom right-hand corner of your panel. The default setting for Library is Grid Mode. If you would like to look at an image more closely, simply click on that image and hit your spacebar. This expands the image to fill up your screen. To get back to your grid, simply hit the letter G on your keyboard. You can also find all of these options down here on the left-hand side of your module. The first thing we're going to do is create a preset that does all of the tiny adjustments we need to do to our raw files. The preset we're going to be creating will not make drastic changes to the overall look of your image. In order to do this, we need to be in the Develop module. You can click on the word Develop up here on the top right corner of your screen, or simply hit D. You can select any image from your import to create this raw edit preset. We will later be applying this preset to every image. On the left-hand side of your screen, you'll see presets. If you expand this, you'll see some pre-made presets that Lightroom has provided for you. If you hover your cursor over them, you'll see some adjustments that those presets will make. We're going to be creating our own presets that will be over here in our folder. We will be making all of our adjustments in the panels on the right-hand side of the module. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to minimize all of the panels on the right-hand side. I'll expand each panel that you'll need to make an adjustment to. I'll be going into further detail about the different panels in our next video, but for now, we're just going to create a raw edit preset. The first panel where we need to make an adjustment is the basic panel. We're going to add a little bit of contrast to our image by dragging the contrast slider to the right plus 10. You can also click on the number over here and type in the exact number you would like. Once you've done that, you can minimize the basic panel because that's the only adjustment we're making in there. The next panel where we'll be making adjustments is the detail panel. Expand it by clicking the arrow. We're going to set sharpening to 25. Our radius will be set to 1.0, which is the default, and detail will be set to 25. We only want this sharpening to apply to the most contrasted parts of our image. In order to control this, we can use our masking slider. If you hold down the Option key and click on the masking slider, it turns your screen white. This shows that you are sharpening the entire image. As you drag the slider to the right, you can decrease the amount of white to leave the black spaces unsharpened. When you get into your more creative editing, you can come in and adjust this masking so that it is a little more fine-tuned for the image you're working on. But since we are creating a preset that's going to apply to all of our images, we're going to set it at 50. The next thing we'll need to do to our raw file is reduce the noise. Because raw files contain so much information, they can appear very noisy or very grainy. To reduce the appearance of the noise, we're going to adjust the luminance slider to 20. Our detail will be set to 50, our contrast is 0, our color is 25, our detail is 50, and our smoothness is 50. We're using these settings for our preset because they work for most raw files. Once your settings match what's on the screen, you can minimize your detail panel. The last panel where we will be making adjustments for our raw preset is in lens corrections. We're going to check the Remove Chromatic Aberration box. This will remove any colored fringe that may appear around bright objects in our image. Next, we're going to check Enable Profile Corrections. This will remove any distortion that was caused by the lens that you were using. Now we're ready to save these settings as a preset so that we don't have to manually make these adjustments to all of our images in the future. On the left-hand side of your module, click the plus sign next to Presets. Select Create Preset. This will pull up the new Develop Preset panel. We're going to title this preset 01 Raw Edit. Lightroom will save all of your created presets into a default folder called User Presets. You can customize the name of your group by selecting Group and then New Group. If you're working off of a shared computer, this is a good way to keep your presets separate from any other user. When saving a preset, you want to make sure that all of the different panels where you made adjustments are checked. By default, there are more panels selected than where we made adjustments. Since those other panels didn't have any adjustments made to them, it will not affect our preset in a negative way. Now we select Create. On the left-hand side of the Develop module under Presets, you should now see User Presets or the folder name that you created. If you expand your preset folder, you'll now see the preset that we created. This is your most important preset. I used 01 at the front of my preset name when I created it so that as I make other presets, it will stay at the top of my list. As of right now, all of the adjustments from that preset have only been made to the image that is expanded on our Develop module. If I toggle to the next image, I will be looking at an image that has not had any of the raw edit adjustments made to it. In order to apply those adjustments, I can now click on the left-hand side on my raw edit preset. If I click over here on details, I'll be able to see that all of the adjustments that I programmed into my preset have now been applied to this image. Now I'm going to show you how to apply this preset to all of your images at one time. Hit Command A to select all of the images in your camera roll. Your camera roll is located at the bottom of the module. On the bottom right corner of the screen, you'll see a button that says Sync. What this is going to do is apply all of the adjustment settings that we've created on the image that is expanded on the screen and apply it to all of the images in our camera roll. Just like when we were creating our preset, we want to make sure that all of the correct boxes are checked. Once you've done that, just click Synchronize. Now the Raw Edit preset has been applied to all of the images in your camera roll. Now that the raw settings are taken care of, we're ready to move on and start making creative adjustments to our images. In the next tutorial, I'll be showing you how to select a preset to apply to all of your images upon import. We'll also be taking an in-depth look into all of the panels in our Develop module.